This is like a very obnoxious play style to deal with. But I identified what was happening like really early on when I scouted his robo. Like after the Stargate, he went robo, and you don't really do that unless you plan to play this style.
Your pylon is under attack.
So I knew it was going on, and I was like, alright, the best way to deal with this is a +2 Archon timing. So I don't know when it was. So yeah, I see the robo now. If I hadn't been able to see it, it would have been more difficult to decide what to do. But I knew I was pretty far ahead. His Nexus wasn't finished yet. I was building probes already. I was prepared if he had oracles. So I was feeling pretty solid right now. I get in and I was trying to see here if he was like building, like I was just trying to see what he was building, and I saw it was just more Phoenixes, no tech. So I was like, all right, he's gonna play like mass Phoenix into like immortal Void Ray carrier or like carrier disruptor. That's the kind of thing he's gonna be doing. And I knew I was ahead pretty far economically. So I just went and took the third base because I knew it was Phoenixes, and there's like no way he's gonna pressure me because he can't like make a good amount of immortals at this time in the game while also making Phoenixes. There's like no way that he can do that. I made these 2 sentries pretty late in the game, but I really think I'm going to do this more often with the 2 sentries so that I can get hallucinate scouts more consistently as the game gets later and later, because it makes a big difference in like checking out what they're doing. Yeah, he's on 1 gateway still. He doesn't have warp gate. Hog champ, dude. Imagine not making warp gate. What a Chad.
Your probes are
This is a Chad gamer, guys. Yeah, and then he was killing like 8 workers there. It seems bad, but I'm still ahead in workers. I have all my gateways coming down. I'm working towards the +2 attack. I get the scout and see that there's not a fleet beacon yet, and that there's not a what's it called? There wasn't a fleet beacon, and there was not a robotics bay. So I knew I didn't need to like go get aggressive, because basically the only units he has is these immortals and the Phoenixes, and my blink stalkers would be really bad versus that right now because of the low number of units. When you get enough blink stalkers to start one-shotting the Phoenixes, that's when you can start to get aggressive versus this kind of player. Like this style of player is what I should say, not like this player type. So I'm getting that +1 attack. We're starting to make Templars. I'm gonna go put pylons out on the map right now as coverage. Just important to always remember to leave like a couple of stalkers in your main base to deal with those Phoenixes, because he does have a lot of them. So if he dived into my base right now and killed like 10 or 15 workers with the Phoenixes, that would be a pretty strong win condition for him to make my follow-up push not so powerful. I noticed that my +2 attack is ready to go, so we start that and we chrono boost it, sending hallucinate scouts here. I get to scout his Phoenix movement. We're doing a little chase down here, but we're not too invested in chasing after him. We chrono boost charge and the +2 attack as many times as we can remember to do it, because this upgrade does take quite a long time to finish, 150 seconds, almost 3 minutes. So every chrono boost that you use on it reduces the build time by 10 seconds. Starting to build up some Archons here. We're making Zealots. We're using our warp gates as consistently as we can. I did start a 4th base here, but it was mainly to get more mineral income, because I'm oversaturated really badly on the 3rd and in the main, so I just needed a place to put my probes at. I see that his production structure's over here. I actually did not notice the void rays there in the bottom corner of the screen when I was looking there, or I would have just gone for the attack. I just saw the defensive structures there, And in my mind, I was like, okay, I need to try and deny a 4th base if he's going for that.
A mineral
And it's
field has
very
been
unlikely
depleted.
he's going to go for this northwestern expansion. It's very much more likely that he's going to go for this forward base if he's going to try and expand. You can see here that I have like a really big supply advantage on him. That's like the cumulative effect of having a small eco advantage for a long period of time. I've been like 8 to 10 workers ahead the entire game since we got to 2 bases. And my army supply is like 30 higher than his, and he's using his phoenixes to attack me. So I know now is the time to pounce. I blink in here, and the #1 priority is to focus fire the shield battery that he overcharges. And then we get the Guardian Shield going, which is like not that impactful in fights like these, but it does make a difference. And then we get our warp in. Oh, very smooth, very clean. We clean up real easy. We barely lose anything. And that's how you deal with these turtle into Skytoss Disruptor type of Protoss players. You really can't let them get to the super late part of the game where they're maxed out on carriers and disruptors, because you don't really have a way of beating that army when the army supplies are even. The only time that you have a really good way of beating this army type is like with a timing attack before they really get to their biggest point of strength. So that was my objective and my goal here. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk on how to defeat Turtle, Stargate, Robo players in PvP. If you have any questions, let me know.